Welp. I have a cough, so I'm drinking tea as well. No, I'm kidding. Let's see. Story time. Yeah, I don't know, I was just thinking about what stories to do. My sister was trying to give me topics, and then she was like, embarrassing moments. And I was like, I don't know, I don't really have embarrassing moments because I'm good embarrassed. But then I thought of this story, which is a good story, actually. So, let's see, my friend Chris and I, gosh, we, so we went to Roaring Springs. Excuse me. We went to Roaring Springs, which is a big water park. We went to Roaring Springs. Oh my gosh, I said that 3 times. So we were there, and I saw this cute girl, right? And we started flirting, like distance flirting, right? The eyebrow raises, the winks, the waves, that stupid, like, blush smile thing. You know what I'm talking about. Anyways, we started doing that. But, okay, so, bit of information. I'm a bit of a man-ho. If I see that any girl has, like, any smidge of interest, I'll go for it. Right? It was not supposed to be sexual. But I'll go for it, right? Like, trying to flirt and stuff. I'm loyal when I'm in a relationship. Never thought about cheating. But when I'm single, I'm an absolute hoe. Anyways, so we started flirting, and then I leaned over to Chris and I was like, I have an idea. See if she's really actually into it, or if she's just doing it just because. Excuse me. So we head off into this wave pool, and it's a giant pool, but they generate waves every 10 minutes for 10 minutes straight. And I think we got there and it was like 2 minutes left, and we're sitting there in waist high water for right now, just looking for her, right? Seeing if she's following us. And I look over to my right, because I was facing where the waves generate. So to my right, I looked over, and we made eye contact, right? Me and the girl. And she is walking along in the water, then she starts swimming out, and she gets to about the 6-foot thing, hops on her tube, literally looks at me, looks at the timer, and the timer goes down to 1 second. The waves start. She looks back at me. And I was like, game on. So I was going to swim out there. I'm starting to swim out there. And these waves, they aren't little, like somebody's freaking, like, bouncing up and down or whatever, like generating waves. No, they're freaking big waves. Especially when you're like a 5'2" kid. It hurts. But I'm a strong swimmer, so I'm not afraid of that. But anyways, I've done this many times before where I've had to do, like, I keep my legs together and curled up for 10 minutes straight, and I can only use my arms to stay up. I've done that many times, but that's besides the point. So I can swim in this. Anyway, so I was excuse me. So I was doing this, or I was swimming out there, and I get like, halfway out there, so about like the 5-foot mark. But when the waves go up, it's like 7 feet, and the waves go down, it's like 3 feet. So it's a good 4-foot difference. Like, you get smacked with a 4-foot wall of water. And so it was going down, and I was able to touch, and then it jump back up, right? And you have to jump, otherwise you're gonna get completely capsized. It's terrible. Anyways, so I'm going through, and I'm swimming about the 5 foot mark, and I'm still swimming. I'm not trying to touch the ground. I'm just using my arms, and I'm normally swimming. And then I get to this point, and there's tubes all around me, right? Because there's people in tubes. It was very crowded that day. People in tubes all around me, and there's this one kid, and he keeps sliding back and forth like a 2 foot window between each wave, right? And he's sliding to the right, 2 foot window between each wave. Excuse me. And so I'm trying to time it, right? He goes out, I'm trying to time it, comes back in, I can't go. So finally, I get real close, he goes out, I try to go through, smashes my head in between another tube, right? Because there's a tube, there was another person in the tube right here, then the kid kept moving back and forth. Anyways, it was only open for like 2 seconds, like between each wave. So I tried to go through, crushed my head in between the two. Then I was like, okay, gotta try it again. So I went through. Then he crushed my shoulders in between the two. Like I got a little farther, and my chest got pinned up against both of them, and I got, crushed in between that. Then the wave carried me back, so I was at my original start point of where I had to go through. So finally, I was so pissed. I put my right arm up because he was on my right side, kind of. I put my right arm up, and I go to swim through, and he comes, and I have my arm up right next to my head, and he runs into my arm, and I push up, and the kid literally flips out of his tube. Okay, so this kid's in the water, and I'm like, I don't care. He can probably swim. Okay, probably. The kid's like 8 or 9. So I go and I start swimming out, and I get like level to where she is. So I'm in the 6 foot where the girl is. I'm in the 6 foot deep area, and I'm frantically looking for a tube, right? Because I can't find a tube to save my life. I'm like, I'm not gonna be flirting here, swallowing a butt ton of water, okay? Freaking drowning, okay? Drowning. I was, ugh. So I'm like swallowing so much water because, I'm fighting everybody trying to get in there. And I can't find a freaking tube to save my life. So I turn, and I'm now sideways with the wave generator, right? And oh my gosh, it must have been like the biggest wave there, because it dropped down, and I'm in the 6 foot, and I plant my feet at the bottom, at the low part of the wave, and the water goes all the way down to my shoulders. So that it's at like 410, right? And then just this wave freaking capsizes over, or like, freaking, yeah, capsizes over me. I go spinning. So my feet are facing the generator, right? The wave generator. And I'm like, under the water, okay? And I get up, and I'm like, freaking take a little breath. I go, like one of those breaths. I go, then freaking get smacked with another wave. And I got smacked with another wave, and I go under again, and I finally take a little rest, another wave goes over me, but I'm underwater, so nothing affects. And I'm sitting here holding my breath, and finally I feel a wave go over me, and I was like, okay, time to shoot up. And I jump, and I let out all my air. I go, right, in the water, and so I can get up quicker, right, because I was going to take a breath when I got up there anyways. So I do that, but I'm under somebody's tube, right? So I hit their tube from underneath, and I'm already out of air because I just blew it all out, and I was like, frick! So I'm searching around, and I put my hand up, and I can't see anything because of how many chemicals are in here. So, like, I can literally see, maybe if my hand was, like, an inch in front of me, I'd be able to see, like, an outline of my hand. That's how freaking chemical this water is, and it burns your eyes. So I'm sitting here, I can't see, right? I have my eyes closed, and I put my hand up. I freaking slap somebody's leg, right? Like, the person who's in the tube. I slap their leg on accident, and they kick. And they push me off a little bit, and so I'm like, okay. So I push up again, still out of air, right? Mind you. and I hit my freaking head on the tube again. And I'm like, I hate this. So I freaking throw my hand up, finally get it over the tube, right? And I pull myself up, and I freaking take the biggest breath I've ever taken. I was like, freaking right. And so I'm doing all this, and I'm like, my heart's pounding, my head hurts because I lack of oxygen, and I was underwater for like 5 seconds without air, okay, and like I have weak lungs anyways, so I'm sitting here and I'm like, right, and I'm like, forget this, I'm going back, like I'll get her when she's out, right, because I'm still at like freaking 5 minutes left of the timer. So I'm like, I hate this so much. So I go and I swim away, and I get back to like the shallow part where I can sit down, and I'm still getting hit by the waves, right, but they're not as bad. They're just rocking me back and forth, and I'm sitting there, and I'm like, where the hell is Chris? And I'm looking for him. I'm like, where is he? Like, this is actually a death trap if you're not in a tube or something. And so I'm like, whatever. He's a big boy. He's on the swim team, so he should be able to hold himself up. So finally, sitting there for like 5 minutes, I'm like, I can't do this. Like, I've never been in one that crowded. And timer ends, and I stand up and I'm looking for Chris first, because I'm like, I don't care. I'll see her when she gets up. Finally, I see Chris. I call him over. We're standing there, and he's like, so what happened? Like, he's like, did you talk to her? I was like, it's a long story. I will tell you later. Excuse me. I actually don't think I ever told him that story. Well, if he's listening to this, he should be. Anyways, so, looking for her, and finally, I'm like, whatever. And I finally, like, no. I don't see her. I can't find her. So I'm like, what the heck? I'm like, whatever. I give up. Like, I almost freaking drowned trying to flirt with this girl. So I gave up. I was like, whatever. I don't need to flirt with her anyways. And so, sorry, I'm looking at my neighbor right now. Anyways, so we head back. We have to leave. So we're at our locker, right? And coincidentally, her locker was right next to my locker, right? So we grab all of our stuff, and his mom's like calling him, like, you guys need to get out of here, hurry up, like, already been waiting for like 10 minutes. And so we're kind of walking out there, and I can hear her voice, right, because I heard her talk before. I heard her voice, and I was like already like up the path sort of to walk out, and I look back and I see her. She's at her locker, which was right next to our locker, and we're making eye contact, right? And she waves me over, and I'm like, I can't, I gotta go, right? Touching my wrist, and then she's like, what? She gives me the what look, and I'm just like, I'm sorry, I can't, like, you know, I give her that look, and then I was like, I turn around and I walk away, and I was like, I ain't gonna leave without being successful. So I'm like, you know what? I don't need to get a number. I don't need to get a name. Mystery, okay? So I turn around, freaking make eye contact. I go, freaking blow her a kiss, right? Like, freaking put my hand on my lips, you know, blow her a kiss, and she freaking catches it. And I'm like, that was really loud. Yeah, okay. I was like, that's fine. I'll take that. Excuse me. I was like, I'll take that any day. So, yeah, man. Things I do for girls. Seriously. Oh my gosh. Terrible. Anyways, hope you enjoyed. It's probably going to be another one soon. So, yeah, man.